Hello, and thank you for joining us for episode 5 of Common Sense Commanders, a series by Security Squared. This episode is called One More Time with Feeling and wraps up our network diagram series. We're going to talk briefly about the following items: breakdown in operations, the impact on IT, how leadership really needs to know about a network diagram, risk identification, and remember in previous recordings we talked about audits and assessments? Oh yeah, we're going to do it again. So the breakdown in operations is pretty simple. A network diagram is a visual representation of assets. It helps the operations of an organization. It usually helps an operations manager who is not an IT resource but needs to know how IT is visualizing things, and they just need to know where things are. So the scenario we provide is, imagine forgetting about a server that is critical to delivering a service. Keep in mind that servers are often, if they are on premise or on location, they are behind locked doors and operations may not even have access. And yet, different departments may access that server every single day. They may be operating critical or even customized applications that help provide a service, either manufacturing or hosting, data center, etc. If you don't know where it is, how are you supposed to be able to make decisions for operations, and how are you able to sustain business practices in that department? Of course, we want to talk about the impact on IT. A lot of these items we've talked about in previous episodes. Keep in mind, though, that we want to reinforce that IT people are inherently visual kinesthetic learners. It means touch and see, not listen. We talked briefly about tribal knowledge and how oftentimes, more seasoned IT people will talk about what they do to troubleshoot or fix an item. This causes a breakdown. It means that other members of the IT team are not necessarily going to see the same thing that everybody else is seeing because they will have a different perspective. Putting together a network diagram actually enforces and makes everybody see the same picture from the same way, or at least minimizes the types of interpretations that can cause the team to lose cohesion. Our next topic, leadership needs to know. And of course, we have we don't know what we don't know. A network diagram is one of the simplest ways to enforce, hey, this is what the business looks like from a technological standpoint. Because of that, it is a critical artifact and it will influence business decisions. Imagine the leadership team making a decision thinking that they can install a brand new application server in a cloud environment, not realizing that they're not actually set up for success with that application, but the application will support a $2 million project. Network diagram could make the difference in being able to perform the services and making that money. So a network diagram should be used to help identify risk within an organization. Security professionals such as the Chief Information Security Officer, other security practitioners, security risk managers, compliance officers, they need the document to help perform security risk assessments and other functions of security risk assessment. Leadership management needs to perform business risk assessments and even business impact analysis. So having a network diagram around really helps solve that constant struggle. And then, of course, and this impacts multiple departments, but a network diagram will influence disaster recovery, business continuity, and incident response. So we've talked about audits and assessments, and so we just wanted to list out a few popular areas: FISMA, CMMC, HIPAA, FedRAMP, SOC 2 Type 2 attestation reports, ISO 27001 certifications. All of these one way or the other, needs a network diagram. Very critical, and most organizations in highly regulated industry verticals, they are going to have to go get a certification or an attestation report, and they probably fall into one of these areas or others. Keep in mind that there's a whole series of European requirements as well. Those all have attestation reports or certifications, and interestingly enough, almost all of them are based off of ISO requirements, can be cross referenced to NIST CSF or NIST 800-171 or NIST 853, and all of those call for a network diagram. So we're going to wrap it up. Keep in mind, we discussed how a network diagram or lack thereof can cause a breakdown in operations. We talk about how IT teams are unable to maintain cohesion without it. Leadership doesn't know what they don't know, and so give them a picture and it'll make them smile. Or, maybe it won't. You can't identify risk if you don't give yourself a chance to see it, and so again, putting that picture together and putting it there for that organization and maintaining it really can be critical. And that criticality extends to a certification or an audit report, which can mean the difference between making more money, maintaining what you're currently making, or actually losing it all because you're not maintaining compliance or regulatory requirements that were part of an earlier business decision. Stay tuned for the next episode and the next topic. We're so glad that you stayed awake during this.